Hello everyone, my name's FlareBlitzed and welcome to the demo of The Sound of Fireworks Part 1, The Haiku. This is a game which has a single pathlet, which means no choices, about love, acceptance and good old awkward budding teenage friendship, and possibly something else more as well in the mix. So let's start this demo and see what is going down in Part 1, The Haiku of this tale. Yep, the usual work of fiction, everything that you probably resume that is in this game that resembles in life is purely coincidental. Chapter 1. Always love these kind of beginnings where it just stages everything out in different segments. And usually each chapter has a meaning behind it as well. Okay, I once heard my mum say, "Hey Mimi, you'll see those fireworks one day." Will I now? I had a dream last night. I was at high school the night of its annual end of summer festival. I remember seeing all my classmates playing games, holding hands, having fun, you know, all the good stuff. But my mind was tethered to something else. Something was calling me, and I had this unnerving feeling I was missing something, but I couldn't shape the feeling. Oh my, mysterious figure you say, and a loud crack of an explosion of light. Not a UFO, is it? And then I woke, yeah. You would think that would be the case. Probably, most likely. Well, I thought it was a UFO, but then the game just presented itself as a dream. It was the same dream again. I looked like a wreck, but I was a comfy wreck. See, you're suitable within your own wreckage environments, for goodness sakes. Mentally, I mean, this room looks very spectacularly tidy. My name is Imai Amimi, though my friends call me Hanabi, I said loud and proud, throwing my hand into a peace sign. Hey. If a memory really sticks to you, then you like to associate yourself with the name of something, because that bit of memory is so, not fragmented, I meant implemented into you, so it becomes a part of you. Just like other memories in life. You should not take your energy away from school. School is very important. But it's not the be-all to end-all, for goodness sakes, like what your parents tell you and stuff like that. Like, remember when you was younger, your parents always said that grades were the only things that matters? Nah. What you do with your life is up to you, ultimately. And if you have enough passion, then doesn't matter what grades you have, you can pursue it. Leftover curry, you say? Curry is better when left over overnight because it marinates and all that jazz. You'll need to wake up early if you want a real breakfast. I know you love your food, so I made sure I didn't pick at it too much. Okay, be on time. I will bop you if you're late on your first day. Love you. Ah, some motherly love right there. Just looking out for their child when they need the support that they require, such as getting up in the day. Wake up earlier? I don't understand the concept of somehow getting older and wants to be up earlier, because the concept of getting older is something which you can only understand when you get older. Anyways, I've been plopping down this in what you would call graceful, Amimi, for goodness sakes. I looked around and heard a few classmates giggling at me from across the room. Hey, you can't take my gracefulness, so just leave me alone, okay? Imai! Hello, my eyes shoot up and realise teacher has probably been calling my name for a little while, given how every student was now staring at me. Okay, what's going on? Yes? Would you like to join our class and introduce yourself? Ah, first day of the year? I heard the same classmates giggle at that joke like they giggled at my grand entrance earlier. So embarrassing! I stood up tall and realised there were many more eyes on me than I thought. It's just so much easier in front of a mirror because you don't have a huge audience in the mirror. So when people say that it's easier to practice for a presentation in front of a mirror, it's not, because you don't have 30 or so people staring at you, okay? Maybe talking to another person, maybe, but that only happens or only works when there's only one other person in the room, which is you. What do your friends like to call you again? I bowed so far it felt like my back was going to give out. Awkward silence and a few claps. Thanks for pity. Oh, nothing like adding salt to the wounds already. I'm sorry, Amimi. How have I been here for 30 minutes and I feel like I've already ruined this year? Don't you say that to yourself. Don't you dare give yourself a handicap at the very start of your year, okay? Don't do that. Otherwise, the rest of your year is going to be a slump. I think a lot of us at school can relate to this line here. Not wanting to be at school and going elsewhere, either for a job or university. Both of them will end up being in a job somehow. Although it's not always where you want to be, but could be which has the best salary at the time, or it's just the job that you can access at that point in time. Another portrait joins the rank. Hey, I'm Uta Shibata. Friends call me Shibby. And yeah, if you want to get to know me, just let me know. I won't bite, maybe. Depends what we're talking about. If we're talking about crackers, then I'm definitely cracking about that. He looks like he might... Hey, Amimi, don't say that. Come on now. Isn't that what you call prejudiced? Yeah, making friends is so important at school. Like, you need to have social contacts in school in order to remain your sanity. Because it can't just be about work. You'll eventually physically and mentally drain yourself. You'd be surprised as to what people can do if you just judge them based on their looks. Or they were tending to their wounds on the cafeteria battlefield. You think the cafeteria is just an all-out onslaught of people who want to get the best thing that's on the menu? I mean, it's not like people who have to resort to the vending machines to get something, right? Okay. I put all my stuff away and slouched down in my chair. Tapped them out on my phone and perused the internet with the last bit of spare time I had before classes start again. Or introductions start again, whichever one. Hopefully it's not either of them. The unfortunate, but it is the important part, is self-induced embarrassment. Because I don't think everybody else was concerned by the way you were talking. It's just the fact that you felt embarrassed at the entire scenario. Who would be shouting at us? Hey, Hanabi! Who knows my nickname? I whipped back around and looked to see who said it. I looked back at my desk and saw... Shibata of all people holding my notebook journal. Because that's how people pass things nowadays. Rather than just giving it to them, they lob it at them. I watched it rise in the air as the book sailed above my head, hitting the wall above me, almost touching the ceiling. I looked back at Shibata, almost baffled that he was this bad at anything. Hand, foot, eye, body part coordinated. Hey, come on now. It's the effort that's what's most important, for goodness sakes. Eventually, when you throw enough stuff at the wall, some of it will stick. Oh, come on. You can forgive him a bit more than just saying that. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Like, being angry at someone doesn't necessarily mean they've done something wrong, but when you're disappointed at them, they feel more guilty inside. You know, dude, you could have just passed the journal, but rather than passing it, you had to do the more awkward scenario. Surely even you can just pass someone something using your hands. That's something I always did when I go back home from school. Just get changed into something more comfy rather than school clothes, because I just find school clothes to be very constricting. I'm not sure if that was just me or I'm not in the wrong in that one. But then again, nothing's wrong when it's an opinion. For the most part. This is a game about treasuring memories and sharing stories, so having that sort of thing with you as a comfort tool is really, really nice. Like, we all have something at the end of the day which comforts us in a way. So having stories and stuff like that to share with your friends. But of course, those friends may not be physically reachable nowadays because they're either in another country, in another school, or the third option would be very, very devastating in a way, because it would be impossible to be able to say hello, thank you, and anything in between, all that jazz. You can tell I'm not very good outside small talk. I let my mind wander within those school memories, my eyes closing slowly, smiling to myself, thinking of all the dumb things my friends did with me. Like, I heard Mom break my trip down memory lane, letting me know dinner was ready. Coming for dinner. I let everything on the bed and headed downstairs. Chapter 2. I didn't want this with him. Didn't want what, though? It's been a few weeks, so we just zoomed in time. We didn't see what happened tomorrow with the lack or the less of self-loathing embarrassment. Literature Club's first project, huh? A literature club. This all seems too familiar. So I'd like to know more about what you all have been up to during the summer break. Me, I've been self-isolating, listening to music and all that jazz, you know, the productive stuff. Ouch, that must be traumatic. I've never experienced it myself, and I'm so grateful that my parents have always stuck together after over 30 years or so, but it must be indescribable for both the parents but also the children as well for going through such a situation. When a family breaks apart, that is really, really traumatic. Haiku seems to be the resounding word of this chapter or the game in general. Not creepy at all, but let's proceed. How did I not feel that? Shibata, what's up? He looked at me quizzically. I looked at him defensively. You're a little close there. Did you not hear, Kami? We got picked to work together on this project. We're Haiku partners! My face contorted into something that was half disappointed and half confused. He hadn't stopped looking at me since I lifted my head, and I saw his expression go from happy to a little concerned. It's almost like we hate everyone here, including myself. Get the words out of your mouth, girl. Come on. He seems really into this. Yes, of course, that's why he signed up to this club. Could I see that paper real quick? Yeah, sure. He slipped the paper over to my side of the desk, yeah. I pored over it, admittedly paying attention for the first time. We have to make 3 haikus and pick our favourite of the 3 to present to the class. Okay. It's like brainstorming in a way. And this is our project for the week? Week must be a project name. You know, just its initials. Excuse me, this isn't just for today? Nope, it's only Monday. Is Nishimura really that lazy? Then again, if I had a group full of us, I'd probably do the lowest common denominator too. Come on now. Have more self-confidence in yourself and the people around you. You know, not everyone is in the same boat as you. Elaborate on the summer stuff, like going to a beach, seeing your friends, moving away, etc, etc, etc. You can't just keep it to small talk, and I know I'm not the one who should say that, since the only thing I'm really good at is small talk, like how are you, the weather, stuff like that. How did you sleep? Did you sleep well and stuff like that? I was never good in the conversation department. Me and you share a common trait, girl, for goodness sakes. When I was with my friends, I would bring up subjects and I would toss in my 2 cents. I just like being around them. Yeah, having friends is a comfy thing. And because of you-know-what virus nowadays, it's kind of hard to be with friends physically. We can still see each other on like Zoom and stuff, but that's just not the same as, you know, sharing in the same air. The States, you say? The United States? That explains the first name business, yeah, because in more of the western parts of the world, we go by our forenames rather than our surnames. And we don't really use honorifics as well. Yeah, he's been moving around a lot. Lots of places because his parents were in different jobs and all that jazz. But this time it's the case of we're staying here because we're with our grandparents, not our parents. I couldn't imagine how many times he had to move over the years. Yep, with how open he is in terms of talking about it, I'm sure it's happened a lot. Yep. I'm surprised he could stay so talkative. I'd be a damn recluse if I had to reset my life so much. Then again, it must be the case of if you moved around so much it becomes numb to you in a way, because you expected that this would happen again and again and again and again due to job premises that your parents are undergoing. I returned the shrug with some sass in my voice, but it didn't go as planned, did it? I look over and he shifted his eyes away from me. He bowed his gaze into the ground. Yeah, they did actually. All my friends are back at my old school, and those friends I had before have all moved on in school, so I'm still kind of figuring out who's who and whatnot. Yikes. Paper airplane coming in, Shibata! With the paper airplane making its incline, it scaled to the perfect height and nosedived directly between his feet. Maybe I need the better aim. Yeah, it should be between his arms, not his legs. Take that how you will, folks. Listen here, Shibby. I will go along with yours, but not mine yet. Please? I heard a slight chuckle leave his mouth as he ran his hair through his I don't want to be called my nickname. I've forgotten the goddamn nickname. Oh, Hanabi, isn't it? Right, the firework thing. I shifted my body back to be parallel to my desk and looked away in embarrassment. I've always had my eyes for the future. To do well in school, go to university, get a nice job, help my parents, blow all my money on stupid things, you know, normal future stuff. The stupid things though, what would they be, by the way? Not necessities that will comfort you in life. Not so loud. Shibata, stop terrorizing Imami, or do I need to come over there? She didn't even kick her legs off the table as she hurled her remark across the room. Yeah, you ish, Kami. He turned back to me. He tried to stifle his laugh, but did a terrible job at it. Yeah, Sheeb. I stopped myself, trying to collect myself after that infiltration of my personal bubble. You need to respect boundaries. Little too close to my liking. Yeah, still softly snickering to himself, Shibata finally regains his composure. Haiku, for you. Don't try and change the conversation. You're getting too close again, for goodness sake. Did you not learn from like 5 seconds ago? Come on now, Amimi. He's trying to become friends with you and all you're doing is rejecting him. Just in friendship terms. If it's relationship terms, I can completely understand. But just friendship, you know. Two people that can be comfort in each one's vicinity, if you can get what I mean. The best time of the day in the classroom for most students. The exit bell and the door. Reached down to grab my backpack when I looked back on my desk and I saw a neatly folded piece of paper. That wasn't there before. Let's go and investigate. I looked up and Shibata had already left class. I picked up the paper but felt my body stopping me from opening it. I don't think I can deal with this again. It's not confession this time. It's just a friendly note. I jammed a piece of paper in my bag and headed out of class. Let's see what this paper has to say. Each moment felt like my heart was going to fly out of my chest. I fell back onto my bed and raised the paper up to the ceiling, slowly reading each word. Sorry. I get what you mean. Like we aren't meant for someone. I know it too. Hey, stop prejudicising another person because you're not compatible in your own head for someone else. For goodness sakes. My eyes lowered further. I miss my friends too. But you seem like a cool girl. Can we be friends? The last haiku was scribbled even worse than his normal handwriting, like he thought of it on the fly. Nervousness can also be a part of all this if your writing is scribbled up. Like if you're nervous to write a song, then therefore your writing is going to be all over the place. Shibata was dumb, uncoordinated, and someone I barely even knew. But I wanted him to be my friend. But just say the words out to him, then, girl. Do that, please. Chapter 3. Yikes, is that why Mum moved away from Dad then? Because of this thing called gambling. When you have an addiction like this, it is so bad. But can you really shout at a person for having psychological implications at that point in time? You need to go through these things more constructively rather than just lashing out your problems with that. You're going to absolutely destroy the alarm before it starts buzzing off again. A rush of anxiety hit as now I had to consider what I was going to do with Shibata's haiku questions. I headed downstairs and noticed Mum was already awake, equipped with a bowl of miso soup as she turned to see me. Her face lit up as she handed me a soup like it was a valiant weapon. Okay, your butt is all dead. So you notice the haiku that he's given us. I almost choked my food. It was on its way down. How'd you know about that? You could read the embarrassment on my face like a book. Yep, suddenly growing into a tomato. Or as we Americans would call it, tomato. I scrambled to find a decent answer. They were from no one. I'm working on a school project and how... Did you even know about... Yeah, we got her. The handwriting itself. Your handwriting isn't that bad on that paper, even if you're going with this story excuse. And besides, I'm sure if anyone else was here, They would have heard you giggling like the schoolgirl you are in your room. Jeez, was I out loud? Yeah, I could hear you from here while you're at school. Talking with your mouth full is incredibly rude, mother. You should not set this kind of example towards your child. I mean, it's not like you haven't done a bad example in more than one front, for goodness sakes. Relieved with the possibility of finding a friend, must be. I darted my eyes to survey the room. Is there something on my face? I don't think there is. This is kind of why I don't like eating in front of people. I feel like I made a mess, and I'd rather not make a mess right before going to school and seeing people. Though there's barely anyone who would be waiting on me except you know who, but that's not important right now. Are you sure that's not important right now? I don't know who's got you so happy, but don't lose it. You're much cooler when you shine bright, Hanabi. Hey, how'd you know? Okay, maybe you're my mother, so that's probably why. She gave me this real cheesy wink and waved goodbye as she continued to head towards the door. I waved back sheepishly, not entirely sure what to say or do for that matter. I never understand how she stays so strong through all of this, because it motivates you as well as a person if you keep seeing the person you look up to the most being strong as well. It reinvigorates the entire family if they're all feeling down. When one person decides, you know what, I'm not going to let this continue, I'm going to just battle my way through. Yeah, read it how it is, just being friends, nothing deeper than that, just casual conversations and all that jazz. He didn't ask me out or anything, he just wants a friend, like I do. It's a mutual feeling. Someone to look forward to at school so the entire day isn't so hopeless. Hopeless is the word. But I just don't trust people like that anymore. Yeah, when a habit and experiences from the past become so ingrained, it really does limit towards how much you interact with other people. Like myself, I've always been kind of an antisocial person. And that's only because I'm always afraid of saying the wrong things at the wrong time and trying to put in a conversation where it's completely out of topic. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to start a conversation, but that got to a point where I just didn't talk with people. And part of the reason why I started the Let's Play channel is because I can still talk to people, you guys watching, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at a webcam rather than thinking I'm looking at people. So yeah, we all have different journeys in our life. This is a way to breaking down barriers, to just say small things a bit at a time, and then once those small things are covered, then you move on to larger things which are more personal. But that's only after a certain period of time where you get to know that person on a basic level. But he never asked me for my information, probably because he was too nervous about it. Lass, we only ever talked at school. I felt like he was more infatuated with the idea of having a girl, any girl, so he could have a part of that illustrious group. I know I pronounced it incorrectly. Look at me, I have a girlfriend and all that jazz. For me, I would only really attach myself to someone who I would have feelings in that way for. Like if they were the only one for me. But then again, we've always thought that that person would be the one for me. But I've never found that person before in my life that would be the one for me. Now that is seriously underrated. I wanted someone who would walk with me through the world and we could become better together. That is what relationships should be about. Bearing each other's struggles as we go left, right, forward, and even backwards sometimes in life. Is that no matter how bitter or shallow the situation is, it will always be brighter because we have each other. It's the same as rejection in a way. Giving someone time to think about it can be a sign of rejection because you're not giving them a straight answer, but at the same time it's such a life-changing complication that you do need to think about these sort of things. And especially with the fact that you've only got to know this boy for a few weeks, like, I wouldn't be surprised if you say no. If it was a few years though, then you would have given each other more time to think about things. Disappointment, yeah. I think that's like one of the most bitter feelings in the world, is knowing that you may have disappointed someone, or you've disappointed yourself. Mainly yourself, really. Regret. Disgust. I was already teary-eyed trying to explain myself, but when I saw what my decision did to him then and there, I panicked. I blurted out an apology and ran. I'm not sure what love feels like. It's something I've never felt outside of my family's kindness. Yeah, but I felt like if you love someone, you'd respect their decisions. That in a way is true. And if it's not the right time, but it's not the right time, that is also true. When his face turned over like that, I couldn't be there. I spent that weekend in my room, buried under my blanket, removed from the world. That weekend scared me away from a lot of my emotions. My mind felt tangled. I haven't really eaten much, yeah. That's another thing that negative emotions can do, is take you away from things that you would normally do, like eating rationally, which is never the thing that you would consider, but it's only a situational thing. An awe of nothingness. I headed from my seat and felt pairs of eyes stabbing through my soul. Yikes. Eyes I knew I recognized, the intent behind them was scaring me. I sat down on my desk. I felt like I was suffocating from resentment. I looked down and saw a note peeking itself from within my desk. I reached down and grabbed it. What's it going to say? It was folded just how he always folded them. All the negativity started to wash away. The fact that he made a note specifically for me after everything that felt so weird that day made me believe that he understood and wanted to be friends. Maybe his friends didn't like the idea of us being friends after what happened. But I still wanted to apologize to him, explain my reasons, hopefully put this behind us. I just read the letter and be able to Hey. Oh, wow. You alright? Oh, okay. Snapping ourselves from that scenario, for goodness sakes. It was all a dream. Nah, it was not a joke. Those were earnest feelings. We could continue on being friends, and who knows, maybe I'll accept his offer with some more time. But he never looked. Not one movement back to me. He felt so destroyed. Once he put that note in my desk, I meant nothing. To him, I didn't exist. To me, I didn't want to be Amimi anymore. Is that why we put ourselves on a different persona of all things? Hey, I know this is kind of weird, the aliens in the girls' bathroom and all. And I really hope there's no one else in there, because this would be even more awkward than it already is. But seriously, I'm here if you need to talk. I hear Shibata pleading his case past the stall door and echoing into the bathroom. You should not even be in here! I sat with my back pressed against the bathroom wall, right where it separated me from the rest of the world. What is going on here? Got two different emotions here. One of concern and one of, well, resentment, frustration, sadness. I wish that was the case, but life is never that easy. Especially when you isolate yourself away from social society for so long that it literally is ingrained in you and becomes a part of who you are. Why, you know you've reached a new low when you find joy in math textbooks. The situation itself is very morbid, but you can't help but find a little bit of laughter in the fact that if you can find joy in math textbooks, everyone says that math is like a horror subject to them. For me, it was better than English because I understand math more than English, for goodness sakes. I understand numbers, something that is yes or no, rather than it could be this, but also it could be that. First world problems, not having a pencil on you to be able to share with a friend your notes. He sounded out of breath, like he went back to his bag so I wouldn't have to wait long. I stretched a paper to remove the fold lines and rubbed my eyes so I could read that sloppy handwriting of his. I bet you are great. You may not fully see it, but I'm sure I will. I felt the tears welling up again. I don't understand what I did to deserve such kindness from really a stranger. I knew nothing about him, and he must know all about me. Wait. My mind jolted my senses with the similarities, and my sadness turned into a confused anger. I tossed the paper on the floor and shoot up to my feet. Shibata heard me shuffling out of the bathroom as he made his way up to his feet when I turned a corner. Hey there. Glad to see you on the Whoa! Oh my goodness sakes. This is so out of left field, lass. Like, this is not what he's going towards, you know. I grabbed his shirt with both hands clenched tight, pushing up against the wall with as much force I could muster. I had an audible grunt force itself out of him as he smacked against the wall. What did he do to deserve this? Shibata, why do you care about me so much? I don't know you. We've barely talked. Yet here you are, sending me these lovey-dovey haikus. You're just toying with me, aren't you? I tried to salvage any confidence in my voice, but my words are soft, weak, like they would snap with just a flick. I heard my tears hitting the floor. I couldn't even bring myself to look at him. I don't want to be known as easy. I never asked for any of this. I want to have friends. I want to finally see the fireworks with those friends. I want a normal life. It's impossible if you keep putting barriers up around yourself. A normal high school life. But I don't want to be in this school. I miss my dad. I miss my house. I miss my friends. I miss my face-to-face conversations. I miss... me. Okay, that's slightly hysterical. Shibata nearly screamed in response to my face as he sprinted back to class. Wait! Ugh. I paused as he disappeared. Yeah. For once, you're the one who ran away from rather than you doing the running. Yep, you definitely did. You just want to be friends, but yet you keep evaluating everyone as the same thing as that boy was. Not everyone is the same as that person, you know. An incredible minority, to say the least. Hey, thank you so much for playing a demo of The Sound of Fireworks by Haiku. Please take the time to follow us on Twitter, all those sorts of stuff. You know how to do that. Just search our names in Twitter and see what goes on, and let us know what you thought. We hope to see you again later this year. Is it going to be a possible chapter 2 or section 1 or something like that? Not sure if this music is copyrighted or anything like that, but I kind of like the premises of this game. And I don't mean, and when I say kind of, it doesn't mean like only partially like it, but it's the theme of memories in the past which are rarely encountered in visual novels. We usually talk about the present in games, but when it comes to the past, not a huge amount of visual novels go into that sort of thing, because the past is really what makes up a person, but your actions now and for the future are ones which you are resounded for. Like, what are you now? What are you doing right now? What is in the moment? Not what you've already witnessed and experienced. So that is it for this demo, folks. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you've liked this new video style. I've noticed recently on my channel for the past few months that there's been a decline in subscriber gain and view count as well. So I'm hoping that making these videos shorter while having the same kind of enjoyment is presented, but it's just the enjoyment is just squashed down so that the enjoyment is always there, while keeping all of the downtime away, which were always consisted in the past. So hope you all noticed that, folks. Please leave down a comment in the video below of what you thought about this game, and also what you thought about the different ways I've gone about in this video. So thank you all so much for watching, and see you all in the next video, folks. Have a lovely day and take care of yourselves.